Kamala Harris just got grilled by CNN. She got cooked by the network that absolutely loves and adores her. Now, again, we have been seeing this for some time. We've been seeing the lying, we've been seeing the manipulation, but according to CNN and their own investigation on Kamala Harris's campaign, they have began to uncover these inconsistencies that we've already found. And it's just really, really beautiful to see that even CNN is recognizing this kind of corruption. They're recognizing that the system has been for her, and they're even uncovering this sort of manipulation. Okay. And I think this is great to see. And I think you're going to really enjoy this. Check this out.
Tonight, K-File investigates. In a new report, you'll see first out front. The K-File team scoured Kamala Harris's tweets and statements going all the way back to 2017. And what they found was more than 50 instances of Harris slamming Trump's border wall. But now, new Harris campaign ads actually showcase that very wall.
As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border.
And on top of critical tweets, Harris also wrote in her 2019 book, quote, "There was a bigger reason to oppose the border wall. A useless wall on the southern border would be nothing more than a symbol, a monument standing in opposition to not just everything I value, but to the fundamental values upon which this country was built. How could I vote to build what would be little more than a monument designed to send the cold, hard message, keep out?" Well, K-File's Andrew Kaczynski.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was like a journalist on the floor at the DNC in Chicago, and they were just recognizing that where they were gathering, where the DNC was gathering, they were surrounded by these walls, right? Because they were trying to obviously keep people out. And this journalist was right there with their, their microphone. They were like, "So, are you saying that walls work?" And it was just so hilarious to see. So to see Kamala Harris have this kind of attitude towards the wall and the passes. Wow.
He joins me now. So Andrew, I mean, you all have gone through, scoured an incredible amount of material. Tell me more about what you found.
Yeah, that's right. We found more than 50 of those tweets criticizing the border wall before she used that in her ad. And I want people to take a look at just a few of what she said here. She called it wasteful, useless, a waste of taxpayer money, a vanity wall project, a wasteful border wall, a stupid wall, a medieval vanity project, and an unnecessary wall. And those are really just, there were more of this, just like 10 or like 50. But there was really a lot of this was the common refrain during the campaign. You read that quote where she said it was against everything that not only she stood for, everything America stood for, and she brought this up a lot. Take a listen to just one instance of that in 2019.
It's the president's vanity project.
His multi-billion-dollar vanity project called a wall is nothing more than a distraction from the fact that he actually hasn't focused on working people in America. He contrived a national crisis around his big distraction.
All right, so you go through all of that, you've got all the tweets, and yet all of a sudden in the ads, there's pictures of the wall, and then you went through to look at that wall. Yeah. Like, what is that specific wall that's in her campaign ads now? And you found something very interesting about this specific portion of the wall.
And what's also really remarkable about this is, you heard her talking about it there, Trump's wall in his campaign during his presidency. There was really no greater symbol of Trump's presidency than the wall, in the way that Democrats were attacking him over the wall and his restrictive immigration policies. So we looked in that ad, and if you look at it, that exact area of wall is in Sasabe, Arizona, and that is a portion of wall that was actually built by Donald Trump. It was built in an area where there was not previous wall. It was actually pretty controversial when they were building it at the time. So just to see that, and then there are other.
She's using his wall that he built to say, "Look at what I did."
And the other.
Wow. Did you hear what this anchor just said? That Kamala Harris is using the wall that President Trump constructed, right, as to call herself the border state prosecutor, to make herself look awesome. And this is the kind of inconsistencies that we've been seeing, and that she's been getting a lot of critique of. And I don't know. This is just fascinating to see this on CNN. Like, I feel like we're watching a segment from Fox News right now. Like, I love to see this kind of, they're holding her accountable. This is accountability. And again, like we're all for, like, change your mind. You have my permission to change your mind, and I hope I have your permission to change my mind in the future. But at the end of the day, if someone does change their mind, if they do think a little differently, I think they should be able to articulate why. Why did you change your mind? Why were you so critiqueful of this in the past? And why is this now the future that you want to create? I'm curious to see how you handle that. And I hope that President Trump, in this upcoming debate, I believe it's 5 days now until the debate, but I hope that in that debate, he holds her accountable for that, because like we have seen flip-flops. Okay, this is just one instance, but again, I want to see her articulate a vision as to why she is doing this. Why are you maneuvering through this conversation in this way, and why aren't you talking about this? Like, this is misleading. Calling yourself a border state prosecutor and showing the border in the background whenever you've been so critiqueful of it, that's misleading, and I don't think that's fair. That is not fair for American voters, and I think we deserve better.
Basically.
And the other images of the wall, we weren't able to pinpoint, but there's telltale signs that was a Trump wall, because there's an anti-climbing plate on top that became popularized during the Trump years.
It's really incredible
Wow.
reporting and important. All right, Andrew Kaczynski and K-File, thank you very much.
Wow. An incredible video from CNN. Like I said, wildly surprising to see. And nothing that I wanted to show was this awesome video, this awesome picture that I saw first from Wall Street Sober. And I think this really depicts accurately how many Americans are feeling during this election cycle, in particular with Vice President Harris. Look at this. This is a cartoon image where VP Harris is the lifeguard. And she said, when I become a lifeguard, I'm going to make all these changes. I'm going to do this and that. And look in the pool. You see these people who are drowning. It says inflation wars also, excuse me. But you see inflation, wars, you see the border, you see illegal immigrants, apparently. You see crime right here. And she said, when I become lifeguard. And one of the people who are standing alongside her says, you're the lifeguard right now. You're there right now. And this is exactly what we're seeing from Vice President Harris. We're seeing this inconsistency, and I just don't really, I don't appreciate it. And look at this TikTok that I just came across. This is incredible.
Y'all, the truth is as simple as this. If Trump was going to do all the horrible things that they say he's going to do, he would have done them already. And if Harris was going to do all the amazing things that they say she's going to do, she would have done them already.
It's as simple as that. I love that so much. Like, we treat these people as if they're not in position right now. And again, I do want to give a little grace. Like, the vice president, you're not president. All right, you do have your limitations. But at the end of the day, Kamala Harris, if you're going to use this position to essentially get you into the next position, then you need to be held accountable to the things that your administration did. At the end of the day, it is the Biden-Harris administration. That's your name. So you need to be held accountable for your actions. And again, maybe you didn't do everything, but that almost doesn't matter, because your name is attached to it. That means you need to be held accountable to that. And again, responsibility is good, right? Like, if you're going to take ownership, saying that, oh, like, if you're taking ownership that Bidenomics is working, right, when it's working, then you need to take ownership for when Bidenomics is not working. Okay, this is the consistency that I think we need in a leader. And look at this other clip that I came across today, and I love this caption. It says, never in my life have I seen a presidential candidate so afraid to talk to the media. And we also saw RFK Jr. talk about this recently as well. He was like, we need a leader who could actually articulate a vision, who can actually debate on a stage and just cast their leadership onto America. And like, I agree. I believe in this. And to see Kamala Harris like just completely avoid the press. Look at this.
How's debate prep? Madam Vice President, how is debate prep going?
This is just so sad to see. You can literally hear the press screaming at the top of their lungs, trying to get Kamala Harris's attention. And, I guess it's fair for me to say, if you like this behavior, vote for her. Okay. If you want to see a president who could, like, where is this? Right here.
Going. Debate prep going. How is debate prep going?
Oh my gosh. To hear the press be screaming at the top of their lungs, trying to get the attention of Kamala Harris. And at the end of the day, like you know that she heard this. Again, it's loud, yes, but she made eye contact with them on the way here. Right? She knew they were there and she chose not to come. There's probably a crowd of people there, a crowd of journalists, a crowd of reporters, a crowd of the press just demanding some sort of answers. That wasn't even a crazy question either. How's debate prep going? That was the question. Okay. And for her to not take just a couple seconds to say, hey, you know what? This is where we're at right now. Right. Where she could have even used this opportunity to maybe attack Trump if that's what she wanted to do, which is what we've been seeing for so much of this campaign. She could have said, I don't need debate prep. All right. I'm Kamala, he's Trump. That's all the prep I need. Right? She could have said something like that. But instead, she just chose to ignore it. And I don't know. I don't know if the answer to all of our problems is another 4 years of someone else who can't talk to the press. And even Joe Biden, like, even though he was so incoherent at times, at least he spoke to people. Like, come on. Like, at least he actually gave them the time of day. And now we're seeing Kamala Harris. Like, she should be the press's favorite right now. She should be going to the press, not running away from the press. And to see this, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like to see this. And I would have preferred if Kamala would have actually stopped and had a conversation with them, answered some questions. But instead, she's just waving goodbye. Again, locking, making eye contact, and getting in her plane. I don't know how I feel about this, but actually I do. I don't like it. I don't like it. And you know who else doesn't like it? I'm going to say many American citizens, many concerned voters don't like this. This is a left-wing, I would call this person a left-wing operative. All right, only because the Democratic Party calls anyone who's on the right-wing operatives. So I would say that this guy and his brother are left-wing operatives. Just because I think that's a a little funny, a little distasteful, yes, but the left did it first. Okay, the left did it first, and if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, or whatever that phrase is. But look at this polling. All right. From a left-wing account, he says, who are you voting for in 2024? Now, if you ask me, if you asked me to guess what what the results of this poll would be from a left-wing account, I would say it should be a resounding support for Kamala Harris. All right. Especially the way that this question was phrased. Look at this. Kamala Harris, prosecutor. Okay. Obviously, that's not what it's going to look like on your ballot, but Kamala Harris, prosecutor, Donald Trump, felon. All right. And the other two options are not in the US. Another one is not voting. Okay. And again, a lot of people here who've been following the Kennedy campaign, I have heard a lot of people saying that they're not voting. So maybe you guys are going to be in this bracket, but I recommend voting personally. But look at this. who are you voting for? 18% people from this left-wing account said that they're still voting for Kamala Harris. But look at this, 72%, 72.6% are voting, say they're voting for Trump at this point of the race. But to still be supportive, be supportive of Trump, even though he's, quote unquote, a felon, is absolutely wild. And I just think the phrasing of this question just communicates a lot. And I do think this is very reflective of the state of this race. And I think it's primarily because of actions like this by Kamala Harris, because she's just not there. She's obviously physically there, but she's not showing up in the way that people are expecting her to show up. She's not answering questions. She's not going on interviews. Who knows if she's actually going to be in the debate? I'm crossing my fingers, but man, like we just had this conversation with Larry Sharp the other day, and he was pretty convinced that Kamala Harris isn't going to go to the debate. He's convinced that something is going to happen. Now, I don't know what she's going to get. COVID. She's going to get some sort of whatever else can happen in the next 4 or 5 days. Who knows what's going to happen? I hope she shows up. I really do. I don't think it helps her at all if she ignores the debate in the same way that she's been ignoring the press. But I would say if she wants to get these numbers up, she has to show up. She has to show up in the way that people are expecting any presidential candidate to show up. But anyways, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? I know this is slightly different of a story, but I really wanted us to talk about this investigation that we saw from CNN, because I just think this is absolutely fascinating of a conversation to see Kamala Harris almost take ownership of these things that she wasn't involved in, really, but now she's using it for political gain. And let me know what you think about this little cartoon illustration. When I become lifeguard, you're the lifeguard right now, right? Very reflective of this state that we're in. And let me know what you think about this woman here talking about President Trump and Kamala Harris, and just this general feeling of propaganda right now. So I know a lot of people here don't really watch traditional media, and I'm really thankful for that. But traditional media has so much influence on people, and I'm just happy to see a lot of people kind of waking up from that. So huge shout out to this person, and also huge shout out to Ed for this wild and unexpected poll, which has over 70,000 votes. And again, normal polling size is about 1,000, right, to 2,000 people. So you could say it might be skewed, but this man he's completely for Kamala. And I know a lot of this. So he has over 500,000 followers. He has over 1 million followers. I have to believe that most of these people are on the left, right? To see people on the left who are actually supportive of Trump more than Harris, even whenever it's phrased in this type of vernacular, calling him a felon and calling Kamala Harris a prosecutor. I don't know. It seems to be that there's a lot of people who aren't really trusting this this movement around Kamala Harris, even on the left. So I don't know. This is really interesting to see, and I'm excited to see how this develops over the next, couple of days leading up to the debate. But let me know what you think about all this. I think this is a really exciting time. I hope everyone is having a great day, and yeah, I will see you all next time. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate your time so much, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to support what we're building here, please like and subscribe. It means a lot and it really helps us out. And if you want to see even more content from me, make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing a lot more on there. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.